questions has concluded. And so we're going to now give the candidates 1 minute to make their closing statements. We'll start with Trey Gowdy.
Well, thank you, Dr. Bain. Thank the other 4 candidates, and especially thank you for giving up Saturday and coming up to beautiful Landrum. I believe in a limited government that excels at its core functions and inspires public trust and confidence in the process. In other words, I would apply this 3-part test to any issue that came before me if I were your congressman. Number 1, is it constitutional? Number 2, is it sound public policy? Number 3, is it affordable? One of the reasons I'm running for Congress is because my generation is the very first one that may have to look our children in the eyes and say we passed on a worse, weaker country than the one we inherited. The American dream is under assault. We need to fight for it. Thank you for letting me fight for you in the criminal courtrooms for 16 years, and I would be honored to fight for you in Washington.
15 months ago, I announced my candidacy on a magical night at a tea party in Greenville, when, along with about 2,500 other concerned citizens, I stood up and said, enough is enough. If you believe we need to send more career politicians, attorneys, and elitists to Washington, you have your options. However, if you believe as I do, it's time we had different representation in Washington. Representation that understands what it's like in the real world, that understands business is what creates jobs, not government, that believes that individuals are the best determinant of their own success and not government. If you want someone who's going to go to Washington to stand and fight for our core constitutional and conservative principles this country was founded upon, look at the breadth and depth of my personal and professional experiences. I believe it uniquely qualifies me as a candidate of We the People. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you for being here today.
To speak briefly to what Bob has said about the carbon tax issue, that's not revenue neutral. It's not revenue neutral. The concept is wrong. When you take the taxes of a whole bunch of people and give it to another group, that can be called revenue neutral in the sense the government doesn't keep it, but it's not fair to Group A because it enhances Group B. You call that revenue neutral? No, I'm sorry. You take FICA taxes and that's reduced. Well, guess who's not getting the FICA taxes taken out of their check? The senior citizens. So it hurts senior citizens. And who trusts government to keep up the program? They're going to end up hitting you with the carbon tax and then doing the FICA tax both at the same time. How misleading. You're calling me misleading? I'm sorry, Bob, that won't work. That's old liberal politics at work. Real simple with me. If I go to Washington, I'm going to form a cadre of conservative bulldogs. We're going to fight the increases. We're going to zero-base budget the federal budget. We're going to get the deficit under control. We're going to cut agencies, merge agencies, get rid of certain agencies. We've got to stop the bleeding, and it starts by balancing the budget. And if we don't do it, we face the catastrophic times ahead of us.
Do I have a mic? Yes. I have a lifetime of conservative activity and behavior. I think you have to look at people's actions and not at their words. Now, if somebody is as young as the man on my far left, he could still develop in some other direction. The rest of us are formed. And we know the records of Mr. Thomas, and we know the record of Mr. Inglis, and we know no record for Mr. Lee. So if you want somebody with a solid, conservative, lifetime record, somebody who is fully formed and has paid the price of being a conservative in the liberal academy, you want me. I'm Christina Jeffrey. I ask for your vote. I ask for your support. I very much need it. I will very much appreciate it. Thank you, and God bless you.
Pat Schroeder, a member of Congress from Colorado, once said, "Don't tell my mother I'm a member of Congress. She thinks I'm a prostitute." That's sort of the way it feels here right now. So I'll tell you this. There is a brush fire spreading across this country. And it may burn up incumbents. Me, Paul Ryan, a number of people, right? And we may get some new folks, and they'll have the same problem The problem is there's a consuming fire beneath us. And I haven't heard any solutions offered of Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Not anybody offering a solution. I've been talking those solutions. It involves telling people that things are going to have to change. And then little things, like a $150 million earmark for the Union County Lake, you got to say no. And when a guy stands up and says, keep your government hands off my Medicare, you got to take the time to explain to him, it's a government program, sir. And we have to make changes. So, we can either get about that in a serious and adult-like way, or we can waste some time on scapegoats and on sending in a new crop that will sure enough find out that the simple solutions are all non-workable. And the only thing that works is real substance. That's why I hope to have your support on June the 8th, runoff on June the 22nd. Thank you.